Hey y'all, and welcome to the Max Life. Here is a very exciting update on the Prepper's pantry that we have been building. Y'all, every shelf has been stained. I have painted the molding on the door as well. But if you guys can see, the lighting is not wonderful over here because the lighting is over there and the shelves are over here. So the lighting is not wonderful, but you can see that I'm completely done with this. This was an all-day thing. I started at 10:30 one morning and I did not get done until 8:30 in the night. But I am so glad it's under my belt. Getting underneath here was what was not fun. I did end up resorting to a small roller for these because this is rough wood. And I typically wear gloves and use a rag to stain. That's just the way that I have always stained. I have stained every piece of wood in this house by hand. I've always done it. Of course, Colby as well. He actually stained all of the doors while I was pregnant with Selah when we first moved in this house 10 years ago. But all of these shelves have been done and it is a wonderful addition. The only other thing that I have to do is come in and get these floors cleaned really, really good. Then I have some concrete stain on the way. We're going to stain this to match the rest of the house and then we will seal that off. And this room will pretty much be done. I'm not planning on moving anything in here quite yet. I just want to wait until I have it completely done, except for my appliances that I desperately needed out of the way because I literally had stuff in my kitchen falling out of the cabinets. And when a cast iron almost hits your toe, you know something's got to go. So I had to get some things out of there. I went ahead and moved those over here. But I really did not want to start on stacking these shelves right here until I have the whole room completely done, because if I bring something in here and put it on the shelves and then we do the floor, I'm not going to be able to get to it. So I really kind of want to hold off and not start loading these shelves up quite yet. But guys, I wanted to give y'all an update on the Prepper's pantry. This was a wonderful project to do. It was not a fun one with all of the staining, but we got it done and I am so excited about the space because it gives me so much more to work with. So super excited about this. But guys, enough chatting. The cows have to be moved. Our beef herd has to be moved from paddock to paddock. Y'all have heard us talk about how we do intense rotational grazing, so that has to happen right now. I have been inside for the majority part of the day, walking out to slip my shoes on. We're gonna jump on the Ranger and drive up. Colby's already done some moving of the waters and the feed troughs and stuff like that. That has to be done. But we don't want the cows to run into the garden, so we're going to go up there and get them moved right now. Now, I'm gonna let Romeo out. He really lacks confidence. He knows what to do and he will do it. When the gentleman come that trained him and he brought his dog, he will do the commands with another dog. So he didn't right off the top do what he was supposed to do when the trainer just come, and he kind of understood what we were talking about. Well, when the gentleman let his dog out and Romeo jumped right in, it's just like he is not the leader. So we're gonna take him. I'm gonna keep him right beside me. Romeo, come. I'm gonna keep him right beside me and we are going to work on moving the cows. I think Juliet is probably gonna be the dominant one, which if she is, then that is gonna be better for us because he is definitely not the dominant one. So we're gonna take him down. I'm gonna make him basically yield beside me until we're ready to move them. We'll see what he does. Sometimes he makes things worse than better, so we'll see. Romeo, come. that went really smooth. Summer is officially fully set in the South. We've had bits and pieces of it on and off, but it is beginning to enter that stage where you're only outside for just a short period of time and you literally have sweat dripping off. I would say I've been outside 20 minutes and I literally have sweat dripping off. So part of the South, summer is here. It is in full swing. By all means, it is very, very hot outside. Like I said, we had bits and snippets of it would be hot, then if it got cloudy, it wouldn't be so hot. Now, it does not matter what time of day it is, morning, noon, or night. It doesn't matter if it's cloudy or it's raining. It is hot. Welcome to the South, y'all. Yes, that says welcome back. You see that we have school books out. I have them all organized. We have our first day sheet out that I'm going to let each kid fill out. Then every year I've tried to be diligent about getting a picture of each kid with the year and the school grade that they're going into. I have went through and organized all of our closets. I've talked to y'all a little bit about that. Extra pencils and glue, markers, things like that have been stored away in the top. I did get Livy a couple little things. Y'all, one thing that you have to remember when you're homeschooling and you have little ones in the house that are not doing school, that they have to be entertained. So I'm not sure what she did with the book. I'm just going to have to go through the coloring books in the bottom because it probably got moved down there. But like a little sticker book where she can dress like little people on a page. Some things like that. A couple of little things I have gotten for her sake. When we're doing school, it's important that I try to keep her occupied while I'm working with the other kids. And it looks like she has already, obviously the page is torn out. She has already torn into that book. So I'm going to have to spend a minute. Oh, here it is. I forgot I moved it higher so because I saw her in it. So this is the little book. Just something cute and fun. And, if I can entertain her for 15 minutes with this, I picked her this little thing. If I can entertain her 15 minutes with that. I also got her some washable, going out on a limb here. Got her a couple more. We've had these and she really likes to watercolor paint. So I did pick her up a couple of new things like that. Just if I can get her entertained. Here's her little desk that she usually sits at. It's not new. It's actually some of the wood's missing. I've used it with several of my kids. And then come in either last year or the year before and just kind of stripe that with smudging some paint because after a little while it does start looking really bad. So just to add a little bit of color to that, I usually try to put her over there, start her off with some snacks, give her a couple activities to do as I'm in between. This is Sayla's desk. As I'm in between her, Jennings is going to be doing school this year. He's officially in kindergarten. And Eliza's desk, Aiden usually does part of his school in here, part of his school in the living room, because as I'm talking in between each child, giving them instructions, it's really hard for him to read and focus. And Harley is the same way. She has all of her own material already. She pretty much goes in her room and does her schoolwork in there so that she can read and focus on what she's doing. So those are the students I pretty well have in here until after Bible. I'm actually very excited about this new curriculum. I am familiar with it already, but I have used a couple of different things in the past. I actually love I think it was called God's Great Covenant, teaching the Old Testament. When we swapped over to the New Testament, many of you guys are familiar with the Bible and the way it's laid out, and the four Gospels in the front are the same accounts from different perspectives. So when I watch something and Colby watches something, he's going to tell you things that he saw, maybe that stuck out to him more, and use different words, versus I may see the same exact thing and it come out a little bit different. So a lot of the curriculums that I have found, I just didn't like the way we were covering some of the New Testament. So we're starting all back over. I have spent several years in the Old Testament covering lots and lots and lots of really good stuff, but we're swapping gears. Actually, like I said, we have been in the New Testament probably all of last year, but I just didn't like the way it was laid out. So this is what I actually teach at my church, from Answers in Genesis, and it is through the Bible series. It's like a 4-year series. And I picked up in the New Testament, I went ahead and bought this to add to our curriculum. And I'm really excited about this, and I'm already familiar with it. We're going through the Old Testament on my Wednesday night children's class. We're teaching out of this. And I wanted to go ahead, and I thought, you know what? I haven't found anything that I really liked. I'm familiar with this. I've been teaching for almost 2 years now, and this is just so good. It's on the kids level. It brings out things that are really important, hitting highlights. I know sometimes in the Old Testament you can get bogged down, like in Leviticus, it's a lot of Levitical law, and that's really hard for kids to get, but we kind of muddled through that and studied it. I tried to keep it on a kid's level, but this is already on a kid's level. It's absolutely wonderful. If y'all are looking to add Bible for kids in any way, shape, form, or fashion, we just went with the 4th and 5th grade, because I have one that's in 5th and one that is in 3rd, and then of course Jennings is not quite that old, but he can at least still listen. And one of the other things that I really like about this curriculum is it breaks down different verses. It really explains it, and then it starts asking questions to make sure that the students are understanding what the scripture is saying. So hands down, I don't know who's familiar with Answers in Genesis, but I will tell you that this is what our church uses, and I have been teaching out of these specific books for, like I said, 2 years now, and it is a wonderful curriculum to add in. So that's where we're going to be starting the New Testament and Bible this year. So very exciting. Tomorrow is the day, y'all. Tomorrow is the day we jump in and we start school. Some of y'all may be thinking, oh, it's only July, why is she doing school? So when you live in the South, how I just told you, if you walk outside for 20 minutes, it is literally, in July and August in Mississippi, is probably like some of you guys, Canada cold in January and February, where it's just almost unbearable cold. We don't get that kind of cold here. We get that kind of hot here. So in July and August in South Mississippi, it is unbearable hot. Almost when you walk outside and you do something for a couple of hours in the direct sun, it almost will take your breath away. People dehydrate. We stay under heat warnings because, yes, it does get that hot and humid. So when you throw in the humidity factor in there and you're losing a lot of sweat because your body is trying to keep cool, you're very prone to dehydrate. So people here in the South have to be really careful July and August not to dehydrate for sure. So when the kids don't want to go outside in July and August, we start our school because we don't really like to be outside those months here in the South. It's really too hot for us. And instead of just sitting around, we decided a couple of years ago to utilize our time doing school, which puts us being out of school mid-March, sometimes the latter part of March, depending on how much sickness we have to deal with, and vacations and stuff like that, because we do like to take vacations on off seasons from the school systems. So that puts us being done in March when things are really starting to wake up and come alive, and we've been cooped up inside from, it being cold outside or whatever, and everybody's just ready to get outside and run. It's cool in the mornings and warm during the days, and really the weather is perfect minus a couple of rainy days. So we would rather enjoy that time outside instead of right now. So that's the reason why we decided a couple of years ago to swap our school schedule around and make it more fitting for our family, our environment, where we live, those kind of things. So kicking off school tomorrow, we are excited. I'm probably more nervous than the kids. All about spelling, all about reading. These are programs that are geared towards dyslexic kids or kids that have a harder time picking up at a fast pace. I've always used Abeka, but Abeka is very, very fast paced. And a couple of my students have a harder time picking up that fast. So we're switching to a different curriculum this year, and I'm really nervous about it because anytime you throw in something new that I'm not familiar with, I think I'm probably more nervous than them. But y'all cross your fingers and wish us luck. Tomorrow's the day we're going to kick off a whole new school year. It's exciting, but it is a little nerve-wracking. Like I said, as well with swapping the curriculum and everything like that. But we are excited. It is going to throw a whole new element in our days. I usually spend several hours in here in the schoolroom. We are planning on kicking off, especially during harvest season at 7:45. We're going to start Bible. I'm hoping by 12 or 12:30 we're done. We're going to eat lunch. And of course, you guys know when you live on a farm and you plant gardens and whatnot, those things are coming in too, which means as soon as I get done with school, we have lunch and then we go out and begin to work on the farm. What's wrong with you?
Tired.
Tired? Are you tired or sweating?
Sweating and tired.
Is it hot outside? So you come in here to cool off by sticking your head in the refrigerator? See, I told y'all it is really hot in the south. Guys, thank you for joining along. Not much to share and post on this video, just kind of giving y'all an update of where we're at, what's going on, what's going to be kicking off tomorrow. Guys, thank you as always for joining along. We appreciate you guys' support so very much. All of our subscribers, like I said, you guys really mean a lot to us. Thank you for always watching. God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.